Mikey, what time is it, bud?
What?
What time is it?
Oh, the phone's hard to reach.
Was that even English?
It's 1:30.
That's your answer? Once again, last people in the house to leave. Standard operating procedure. This house is huge. Only used a half a gallon of water. So that's a bonus, right? I mean, if you think about it. We're gonna go get some food, then we're gonna head to the track, and then I'm gonna buy a new radiator cap and see if that will help with our problem. Video's uploading, and we're hungry, so let's do this. It's a beautiful sunset out here. Day 2, Musselman. That Panic has this amazing car with brand new throttle body that he designed and built and is going to be selling. So watching him rip is always a treat on the ears and on the eyes because the dude absolutely rips. So this is going through coolant like crazy. We talked to Drift HQ and they gave us a new radiator cap that we just put on. So we're gonna see if it was just pushing through that. I don't know. We're gonna find out. This sunset is everything right now, and having Scottie just sitting there in the background, this is epic. Oh my god. Like, wow. So put the new radiator cap on, went out and did a few laps, got pretty hot, wouldn't cool down. Those are not good signs, and now it won't start. It's just cranking and cranking and cranking, so I'm gonna go try to find a battery box and see what we can do. That's green!
Oh, I can't see that color.
I know! Did some laps. Got to do some tandems with Panic. Got to do some tandems with Mikey. And yeah, now we have no water in the none. Zero. Anyway, we have no water in this at all, like none. So Scottie's messing around with some hoses, but it looks like we're gonna need a head gasket. So that's a bummer.
technical foul on
we definitely pulled out of
Officer Dan for whatever the fuck this is. Not cool, man. Not cool.
So Scottie rerouted a bunch of the hoses to the radiator to see if it would help. It didn't. It still got hot. Came back in. We're letting it cool down. We're gonna see if it still has any coolant in it, but as of right now, it doesn't look like it does. So there's also a huge patch of dirt on entry, and I went off track for the first time. Not super pumped on that either. So hopefully they get that cleaned up. I need to change tires actually, so I probably have 65 laps on this set of tires. Insane. This track is insane. And it's all on that outside one. I mean, that still has a bunch of tread on it. But this one does not. Cosmo Mucho Machos, man. My jam. So even though we think we know what the issue is, we're still gonna try to test to see if the head gasket is actually bad. So that just means that I'm gonna have to make some decisions here shortly. And I don't know what they're gonna be. Suspicions confirmed, head gasket is fucked. Yeah, good news. Musselman hates me. I think that's the prognosis here.
It's because you didn't pour one out.
I did not pour one out. I'm tired. I just want to go to sleep. So yeah, that's where we stand right now. That would be why it's drinking 3 gallons of coolant every 10 laps or so. Sick. So I think we finally come up with a plan. It's about midnight. Brandon is going to take Scottie back to the Airbnb. Kelly, who's on Brandon's team, is going to follow me over to Fine Ark to meet up with Jayson so that we can drop my car off and go look at the tools that they have in the morning to see if we can do a head gasket or not. And that will kind of determine the rest of the steps that we're going to take. But we're trying to get him loaded up, trying to rendezvous with Kelly. We're trying to get him with Brandon and make all of this stuff happen all at the same time because the guys from Fine Ark just left. So we are going to be headed over that way as soon as I talk to Kelly and see what the dealio. So that's a quick update at midnight. No big deal. Kelly and I, after we dropped my car off at Fine Ark, are in Brandon Wignick's truck. It's dark, but there's some gauges and a radio. We have headlights, but you cannot see in front of the car. Look, there's the hood now. You can see it. So it does have headlights. You can't see. It is pitch fucking black.
There you go.
If anybody deserves the Big Balls Award, and he's sitting right there driving this truck for Brandon across the country. Okay, so everybody's at the Airbnb. The cleaning lady's down the street kicking us out. We're gonna head with Brandon, Seth, and Kelly to Fine Ark. Scottie's over there doing a last sweep. Mikey went to go get food, and then we're gonna go try to do a goddamn head gasket. Brandon is gonna make a right turn at some point. Oh, he didn't. He was just juking us. What a guy. And now he's clearly going left. But to me, it looks like we're about to take a right. Oh, man. Tell you what. Here we are once again, seeing them hot boys at Fine Ark. I don't think I've ever been to a shop where like every single car that is owned by an employee is a hot boy baller unit. Like you don't see that but Fine Ark prides themselves on these facts, and they are sick. Thanks, man. Pro vlogger, bwix.org. Like I said, we're over here at Fine Ark, purveyors of ultra fine vehicles and fine arcs. They're letting us use some space. They're letting us use tools. They hooked us up with Harrison Performance, which is over there, that has the tools that they don't have. So I think we have everything necessary. They even have a plastic table for old Scottie don't. It's in there. We need to get this thing done. And like Brandon said, leave no man behind. I would stay here and provide moral support for Brandon. I wouldn't be much help mechanically, but I would definitely be like, you can do it, man. You're number one in my book.
Sometimes,
anyway,
sometimes that's all you need.
And that's all you need sometimes. Yeah, and we're about to eat.
Well, they say Cadillac on like, unless someone do custom, I don't know. Yeah. So we found this little one. It's a quarter drive.
We went over to Fine Ark during the Hoopty World Championship, and they changed our tires there because we were swapping back and forth between off-road tires and normal tires and grip tires and non-grip tires. And now old bwix.com.org is over here doing the same. Basically, the bottom line here is that Fine Ark is the shit. Is the bee's knees. Is awesome. Thanks, Fine Ark. I know I've done this tour before, but they got all sorts of cool weldy boy and fabricatey boy type stuff. Shay, this is mostly for you. You'd know this, but you didn't come on the trip with us, so that sucks. Yeah. Tool porn. Tool porn. Tool porn. Tool porn. Tool porn. Tool porn. Swimming pool. Yeah. Way to go, Shay. Way to miss this one. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Scottie Don't Power Hour to begin. Actually, it's probably going to be more like the Scottie Don't Power 6 to 7 hours. Scottie's one of those do it right, do it once type of guys. He's not a Band-Aid guy. So, conflicting with Brandon Wicknick about everything. So, Brandon's one of those get it fixed no matter what the cost, what it takes. And Scottie Don't is one of those just do it right. If it takes longer, it takes longer. Scottie's been basically working alongside, keeping my shit running since and I need to do the scotch and a beer on this. Basically, since I robbed him to come fly ahead on an airplane to a Formula Drift event, install the head overnight, and then try to get some laps in at FD Texas. That's how Scottie was kind of thrown into the mix. Like, I knew Scottie from before, and Scottie tuned my cars, and Scottie did the wiring harness on my original white S13 that I flipped in Motorcycle vs. Car Drift Battle 2. But Scottie is a saint among men, and now he's having to pull ahead on a JayZ in the middle of the desert in Tucson over here at Fine Ark, without his tools, without a lift. So yeah, just wanted to thank Scottie from the bottom of my heart for putting up with this crap yet again. Sorry, dude. I'm sorry. That's about how much water we ran on all last night. Air cooled, baby, air cooled. Scottie making progress. Shit's coming apart. Pile of parts, tools. things, more tools. It is 1:54 in the PMs. Got the hatter, harnesses off. Jayson gave me one of these radiator shrouds, and I think it's one of my most prized Nissan possessions. For real. Damn, that's hot. I don't even like hatches. Brandon, what's your conundrum right now? What's your conundrum? What's the logistical nightmare that is your life?
We agreed to haul the trailer that takes people's cars, and it's full right now. Part of that's my problem. I brought my own car, and I knew that if we needed to haul some of Aaron's stuff, my car would be at least priority. Anyways, we got 3 cars. We're headed to Victorville, and I got a call that we have to pick up 2 cars for someone else.
Who's that someone else?
Adam and his girlfriend. RTR Adam.
Oh my God.
Have you heard of him?
A monster athlete is coming to hang out with us?
And so we have to drop our cars at the track, middle of the night, and then pick up his car and Colette's car and go back to the track and then try and get some sleep and then drive and then get Aaron's car to the track, and everyone's like, please don't be late with my car. And it's like, all right. Cool.
Question 2.
Yes.
Who's inconvenienced you more? Dan Brockett or Adam LZ?
Trenton.
Right. Jiggadak. Like, Brandon being in charge of the rescue trailer is probably the best thing for him, because he is absolutely 158% one of those no man left behind type of guys. He's done that for me at every drift week. Something happens and Brandon is always the first one to come help. He may be a Mormon and he may be ginger, but he has all of my love. Top of Fine Ark being Gods Amongst Men, Harrison Performance is also a bunch of gods amongst men. They're loaning us tools, they're loaning us specialty stuff. They have ARP assembly lube for my ARPs. So another huge thank you to those guys as well. So front ends, front fell off, front fell off. Cams are out, over yonder. Manifolds are off, spinny boy is out. Moving. So not only is it fucked there, it's super fucked there, mostly fucked here, proper fucked here, and there's a fuzzy thing in there now. This one's also fucked, so that's fun. Every single one of them. So Scottie, I know we're right in the middle of everything, just slapping this thing together, but what exactly, in your opinion, happened to make that happen?
Well, to start things off, we're always right in the middle of something. Something's always going wrong. That's what we do. All right.
Failure point number 1.
So-
Don't do stuff all the time.
So, we obviously had a blown head gasket. We pushed it too long, too much, too hard, because that's what we do.
Because I'm an idiot.
When you party naked,
You have consequences. You get your dick stuck in
things
things.
happen, it gets weird. Well, this is probably one of those extremely weird situations. So, the last run on the track, you probably did, what, 12, 15 laps?
Yeah, just about.
Came in and there was 0 coolant, 0
None.
water, 0. Not, well, I want to say not a drop, but I cracked
There's
the
a couple
lower,
drops.
the lower radiator hose loose, the lower radiator dash 16. It was drip, drip, drip. So doing all those laps, there was no coolant extracting heat from the combustion. You know, that's what the whole point of coolant is, extract heat. Well, ended up fucking the head up on all the intake sides with the air fuel ratios were constantly in the rich section, safely at 11.5-ish. Timing very minimal at 12-ish degrees, maybe 13. So very low. It's very very remedial. I would say all in all, we lost about 40 horsepower by getting a little bit rich and taking the timing out. Totally worth it because we're out for having fun safely, keeping it alive.
Sure.
But the biggest culprit was we had a severe head gasket leak that is right here and also right here. Those two sections was the burn through to the coolant passage. The head studs were erratically in their breakaway torque. So we are going to polish this up as best we can. I took off some of the sharp edges as best I can. We're gonna Brillo pad the remaining copper coat and sealant, whatever sealant was from the old head gasket, and put it back on there and drive to Riverside.
Because we are SMRT smart. Mikey and Brandon took off. All the dudes from Fine Ark left. My car's still in 8,014 pieces. Melted parts, not melted parts. We are now got an Uber to the airport to get a rental car to come back to a hotel near Fine Ark so we can figure out what the fuck we're gonna do with our lives. Everything I have is spread out right now, so nothing is doing us any good. We can't find a 2 JayZ block anywhere, and if we do, nobody wants to sell it. We have a head. We have a 1 JayZ non-VVTi head in my trailer in SoCal. We could get that, bring it here, if we found a 2 JayZ bottom end somewhere in the Phoenix area or in the SoCal area, but nobody seems to have one, so we're kind of dead in the water. So we're gonna try our hardest. If I can make something work by tomorrow, that would be fantastic. Otherwise, I gotta figure out WTF to do. Woo! Oh, and when we copped the rental car, this was about that full, just rolling around underneath the seat, so free vodka. So since we blew the JayZ up, I figured it'd be about high time to I know, go back to the roots and just put an RB back into it instead. So that's what we're gonna do. RB swapped IS. Stoked. It turns out Harrison Performance over here had a non-VVTi 1 JayZ for a fair price. And we are gonna try to make this work and put it into my car. Going back from a 1.5 to a 1J. It's in the very back of his shop in a container that's facing the wrong direction. So we had to enlist the help of a longer forklift than we had access to and rig up a system of ramps. And now we're gonna try to push this thing out and get it loaded over there. So I always say that I do have the best worst luck in like all the situations I have, and if I didn't have this, my life would be boring if shit wasn't happening all the time. The fact that we found a 1 JayZ in a container at the back of a shop right next door to the shop where we're working on the car is insane. That it was sold for a reasonable price, also insane. That these guys are letting us use tools and time, and they even offered up their dyno later for us to use, is even more insane. Like, next door to the place where we're working on the car. And they just so happen to be renting the back of this area to a construction company who had a pettibone that could get the freaking engine out because there was no way we could get a forklift back there. Just mind-blowing. So I'm gonna go pay the man I don't think that I'm paying him enough, but I'm paying the man right now for one JayZ, and we're gonna finish this goddamn drift week. Randomly has one JayZ sitting in a container in the back of his shop that we pulled out with a petty bone and now is being installed to the car. The luck that we just had is insane. He was there when I jumped my car in Vegas and tried to kill him with my S13. So this is awesome how things just work out. And he has this crazy shop here, got his start in drifting, and now has this shop that does supercar stuff. So he definitely graduated to a much higher tier of being awesome. He stopped being a dude that was trying to get killed by cars and started tuning. You tune Supras now?
Supras, GTRs, R8, whatever. BMWs, oh god.
The BMW Supra. Shout out. So yeah, all these dudes that got started in drifting have graduated and done cool things. Here I still am. We just tried to rotate the motor and it doesn't move at all. So we're gonna take the spark plugs out and give it a little look-see. Just blew it out and it was it's been sitting for a while. That's the prognosis here. Okay, so quick update. Motor is not gonna work. Unfortunately, we cannot spin it. It is completely seized and it has nothing to do with them. I mean, I'm assuming this happened well before he bought it. It's been sitting in his container for a couple of years. It's not gonna work. It's basically what we're saying. We could use this head. We could take this head off. It would work. We could bolt all my stuff up to it. We could put it on. But the problem is that then we risk destroying this head, and that sucks. So Richard Harrison over there at Harrison Performance felt bad that it was seized, and he was like, okay, I'll give you half back. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that works. Cool, let's do that. And then instead, he came over here and he brought some JE pistons for a 2 JayZ. No shit. And some Eagle rods. They have a little bit of rust on them, which drift spec, whatever, we're gonna send it. He wouldn't put those on a customer's car, but they're absolutely fine for yours truly. Because they've got to be better than what's in here. We are not going to be installing those to this motor just yet, but that's awesome. And so now, for the same price as this motor, we now have a set of pistons and rods, which is sick. So what we are going to do is put everything back together and send it exactly like it was with a new head gasket and just pray. Just pray. Just a little mild head work on a Tuesday or whatever day it is. I have no idea. Just trying to get some of those raised edges up because the head was just as fucked up as the pistons are. We are asking a lot of you, head gasket, so can you please just hang in there for just a little bit? I know we're not that good of friends, but I just need you to hang in there for just a little bit. Please.
Big start.
Quick update. That motor's still just chilling. This motor's still chilling, but is now slightly more together than it used to be.
Slightly less chilling.
And we found a washer because it was missing a washer on one of the head studs. So luckily, Harrison not only came through with lots of tools and things for us to use, but they also had all of the washers for the head studs. We were missing one, which is a big part of the reason why this head did not stay torqued properly. It was missing one of the ARP washers. Neither here nor there now. It happened. It sucks, but we're dealing with it. And we're gonna try to drive with no boost all the way to California and then put race gas in it and go full send. Because that's what you do.
Because we're SMART smart.
Yay! Gears are on. Hey, buddy. We're actually going to be staying with Matt. Matt Panic was nice enough to be like, hey, are you guys staying in a hotel? And I was like, no, we actually don't have a hotel. So now we're going to stay with him. This motor's just going to remain sad and dejected right here, not being able to rotate itself over. Sorry, little guy. It's okay. I got to go return that piece of shit rental car to the airport. And then we are going to go have some tasty adult beverages, because that is what I need in my life right now.
You could just easily put a
Look
display and show you
at
a
that
wideband
happy dog.
air fuel ratio inside your car.
Yeah, right.
Without having to punch a hole through a
Just
firewall.
getting that
Find a-
love.
find a place
Stop,
like
don't
that.
stop,
The
don't
wires
stop.
already go from the ECU to
Hit
that
me.
plug.
Yeah.
You don't have to use them for that thing.
Yeah, Cobb, I thought was super. Well, I was.
All right, we got a moon halo. Look at that. That's pretty sick. There's supposed to be an eclipse tonight later, like 1 a.m., but yeah, moon halo. Pretty hard. So this is the Panic Garage.
I'm not good on video, man.
No, you're great. That was all we needed. Oh my God, look at you just being beautiful. What? We got some tasty runs that were rudely interrupted by a Corvette. We did not get to drive with this car, unfortunately, but that's her car. Hi.
Hi.
So yeah, this is where all the magic happens at Panic. This is where the sick ITBs, I mentioned these in the video. This is them, for those of you that care. I don't know anything about this, but it looks sick and it sounds sick. And you could hear it behind me with the crappy GoPro audio, which is insane. So that's a testament right there. Beams. This is the motor that should have been in my IS. Plot twist. It's better because it's not blown up. Oh God, it's too soon. But yeah, so this car is super amazing. It's so rad to see it. What is Shaw Dynasty?
It's Shady Nasty.
Shady Nasty?
I just stole it from It's Always Sunny.
Oh.
I didn't make that up.
I always thought it was Shaw Dynasty.
Yeah, no. Honestly though, it's a play on words because Shaw in Japan is like a kind of slang for car. It's like whip.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Whip Dynasty.
kind of has a couple of
Cool whip.
couple meanings.
I like it. And it glows. I don't know if I ever got to see it when it was on, but that glows.
So is that you asking me to do that, right?
That's 100% asking you to do that.
Let's do that.
Let's. Because I think my phone might have been dead when I was like, yeah, let's. And then nothing. And I was like, oh, my phone's dead. There it is. Yeah. Oracle lighting, eat your fucking heart out.
But like at the lit up events, it doesn't really look that good, right?
This looks.
Like the exhaust side is just hot. There's nothing over there. But this is where all the wiring and fuel and everything is. So if I want to work on it at night at the track, like that's how I do it.
That's amazing. So, tiny dot in the sky. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. Oh my God, that actually worked.
Yeah.
So what are we doing?
This is an eclipse right now. All right. Back at Fine Ark. It's the AM because the sun's over there. And getting into it, I need to edit this video so I can release this video this morning. Leave you guys with a big old question mark as to whether or not we're going to make it or not, because we don't even know at this point. But what an adventure. Giant thanks to Matt Panic for allowing us to stay at his house last night. Saved us some scratch. We had a nice dinner. We had some cocktails. We went to a bar that had arcade games. I got to play Little Ivan Stewart Off-Road, one of my favorites. And then we got to go hang out with his dog and talk about old school drift stuff. So awesome time with them. If you haven't seen the Panic harnesses, now is the time to get on the Google machine and go ahead and do that, because they're pretty epic if you're trying to swap a link ECU into pretty much anything that you can think of. Anyway, we're gonna get back to it. I'm gonna start editing this video, and hopefully we'll be on the road today to meet everybody at Adams.